Kevin, wow, this is things move quickly in this White House. But once again, this just highlights how there is quite a bit of turmoil here. What does this indicate to you about John Kelly's level of influence in this White House?
Well, I think it's perhaps a little bit too early to know just the backstory behind this. We should note the New York Times reporting this after what has been a tumultuous, that's putting it mildly, first week for Anthony Scaramucci of formerly Skybridge Capital. You know, that New Yorker story really spoke for itself. And just taking a look at the messaging that he was discussing, I mean, he really seemed to be someone who talked a lot about his own personal drama and not even the political drama surrounding the White House. But this has been, without question, a tumultuous time for President Trump as he tries to right the ship. But this is, again, who he puts in this role, and where he goes from here remains to be seen. I mean, putting it mildly, the relationship that this White House has with the White House press corps and vice versa, it's a two-way street, is not good. And if the president wants to focus on policy, if you judge off of Anthony Scaramucci's first week in the job, he did little, if anything at all, to put the focus on policy. Instead, he put the focus on himself.
Yeah.
So, Kevin, who could that person then be? I mean, before Scaramucci came into the role, were there other folks who were talked about to potentially take that on? Is there anyone who we know of who potentially might be close to Kelly who could fill that role?
There are multiple people who could fill that role, and it really depends upon what type of person President Trump wants to put in the Brady briefing room behind that podium, the most visible, one of the most visible non-cabinet level of jobs in the administration. But it's not just speaking at press conferences. This is someone who also is supposed to be behind the messaging of policy. And when you talk about trying to get tax reform across the finish line, that's a very elaborate type of messaging strategy that, quite frankly, they failed on with healthcare. And I have not seen, just in my reporting experience, any indication that Anthony Scaramucci was interested in developing any type of elaborate, multifaceted, dimensional type of issue. I mean, and that's spreads from the top down. I mean, even lower-level press staffers who aren't empowered to work on policy releases, it really creates a culture of confusion inside the Beltway.